A woman freaked out over someone parking their vehicle, their automobile, in front of her home. That's it. That's the only thing that this person did to offend this woman. Is he blocking the driveway? No, he is not. Just parked at a curb, parallel parked. He though had to deal with her retaliating by blocking his driveway. So let's watch how it all went down.
Is there a problem?
They can move their car.
Is there a problem?
Yeah, move your car out of the way. You can record me all you want. I don't give a
Cool.
Record me.
Go for it. So what is the issue?
Okay,
What's the issue?
Shut up.
What's the issue?
Shut up.
She's upset.
Move the car
She's
out of the
upset
way.
because there's a car parked here.
Record me.
Last time I checked, this is legal.
What you have?
She thinks that this is her parking area. So she decides to park in front of my house.
Yeah.
She decides to park in front of my house.
I don't care.
Cool. No, hey, call the tow truck, dude. Call the cops. You don't own that side of the street. You don't own that side. You don't own it. Hey, call the cops. Okay. Don't even. We're gonna call the cops and they're gonna tow this.
So, look, to be fair to the woman who's upset and who retaliated by parking illegally, it looked like there wasn't much parking on that street. You know, like there wasn't really a lot of space for people to park their cars. So that man, what is wrong with her? Like,
I could fit my car behind that car.
This is nuts. This is nuts.
Yeah,
and by the way, this is common. This is common. I will share my personal experiences with this issue.
Oh,
in just
I
a
will
minute.
too. Don't worry about that.
But you have some too.
I
Okay,
do.
Tell me.
So how exactly? First of all, how does she think this is going to work out? She's going to call the cops. She's going to call a tow truck on a perfectly legally parked car. They're not going to take it. And if the cops come, she is parked wrong. Like. Now look, it is possible that there's context that's not in this video. Like if the guy has that car, it looked like he had another truck. There are people who have way too many cars, I get it. But that doesn't make it illegal to park on the street. It just makes it inconvenient.
Correct.
And you can take that up with the court of the, deal with it. Like
people who are fortunate enough to own homes, for some reason,
they're the worst kind of people.
I'll never understand this. They have a problem with others parallel parking on the street in front of their homes. And my advice to them when they're upset is sad day for you. Because guess what? You don't own the street, okay? The community that you live in happens to pay taxes that maintains the street.
No, but hold on. You're saying all this stuff, but it's in front of my house.
Yeah, so it's called sad day for you.
It's mine.
Why? I'm not a homeowner, so I don't know. Maybe there's something that I'm missing because I don't know, maybe you need to experience it for yourself to understand like how frustrating it is that someone's parking on a public street.
So wait, so you think the spot in front of a house isn't theirs and yet you think the parking spot that was specifically given to you is yours? That seems weird.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, that's how I believe. I'm from the old school.
Can I throw a curveball here?
Yeah.
People are saying they think his car is too close to the stop sign. It looks close,
let's
but
bring
honestly,
it up for B-roll. Let's bring it up.
In LA, maybe that's technically, you can't do that in LA, but I don't think you get in trouble for parking too close to a stop sign.
Here's what we know for sure. He's parked legally.
And by the way, if it was illegal, it would be redded out.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not red.
He is 100% parked legally. He has done nothing wrong. Look, believe it or not, there are plenty of people who for some reason get really angry when someone parks in front of their house. I know from personal experience, in my parents' neighborhood, one of their neighbors would lose it when I would come to visit and park in front of their house. And now I always make a point to park in front of their house.
For months at a time. She owns 2 extra cars just for that. So where I used to live, I lived in a guest house for years and years and years. And there was a note leaver who would leave notes on your car if you parked on the street. So anyway, yeah, no, people definitely, by the way, the spot's not yours. The grass on the other side of the sidewalk isn't yours.
Exactly.
That's public land. It's not yours.
Sean, yes. Okay, here's another thing. Communities are built differently, right? But in California, it's very common to see like there's a sidewalk, right? Unless you live in a rich area where they ensure that they don't have sidewalks, so the riffraff doesn't walk in their neighborhood. I make sure to go running in those neighborhoods, by the way. So sidewalk or not, you'll be seeing me.
On your grass.
Right, 100%.
Anna, by the way, is Raff. Most are Riff, she's Raff.
I don't know what that is. Okay. Oh, I get it. Riffraff. Got it. Anyway,
it's the dichotomy of man.
So there's the house, and then in front of the house there's a sidewalk. The sidewalk does not belong to the homeowner. The sidewalk belongs to the city. And then there's a little patchy, grassy area, right? So house, sidewalk, patchy, grassy area. Sometimes you'll come across a delightful fruit tree that is planted in the grassy area that belongs to the city.
Yeah.
If I want to pick a piece of fruit from that fruit tree, it is my right to do so. You know why? Because our taxes help fund the city, and that tree is city property. Okay, so
it's as simple as that.
It's that. That's it. I want to park on the street. As long as it's not marked red, as long as there are no restrictions or street signs indicating I can't park there, I'm gonna park there. I'll park in front of your house. There's nothing you can do about it. That woman who decided to block a driveway in retaliation, she parked illegally.
Yeah, she can't do that.
Her car gets to be towed.
Now, so I think we've established this.
Yes.
It's not yours. You might not like that it's not yours. By the way, I lived on a street that ended in a park, and you could walk through the park to another street that had tons of people living on it. And they would frequently have parties, so some people would park at our end, walk through, and then party all night. It sucked, wasn't illegal.
Right.
But let me tell you, and we've talked about this before, I'm sure, the thing that people do that is legal, but it is like one of the most antisocial things you can do. And you know what I'm gonna say?
No, tell me.
Okay, so you have a driveway, you have another driveway. In the middle is the yard and the sidewalk and the patchy grassy area.
Yes.
And that driveway, that area between is 2 car widths long.
Oh, I know what you.
But they don't park on this side or on this side. They park smack dab in the middle.
Guilty.
To do one of 2 things, and I don't like either. Just for the fun of it, you antisocial a-hole, or so I can move it later when another car that I want is there.
They're the worst. They're the worst.
But there is a way to fight back. Do you know what it is?
What?
You do what I did, and you buy the smallest car in America. I can still fit you, a-hole. So I go on the other side of him. He's right in the middle, I'm right there. I'm pretty close to your car though, and that's a reality you insured. I love my Cyan IQ.
That's amazing. Someone in the community that a family member of mine lives in, you know what they started doing?
What?
They just bought cones.
You can't do that.
It's illegal. It's illegal. Do not do that. You can get in trouble with the city, except like right now it feels like there's this like sense of lawlessness and people do all sorts of things they're not supposed to be doing. But like, all right, I'm not gonna lie. Like, my mom lives in this community, but not on the street where this is taking place. And like my mom, she's the kind of person who would probably drive me crazy because she like, you know, it's a good thing. Like she likes to make sure that like people are picking up their trash, like and not trashing the community, like that kind of thing. She's one of those people. So she goes on her morning walk and she notices the cones and she's like, that wasn't put there by construction workers. That no parking sign looks like it was handwritten by the person who lives in this house.
Tell me she kicks him over, please. I just want to imagine her kicking him.
She reported them to the city.
Okay, well that's
multiple times because they, you know.
You can't do that.
Yeah, you can't do that, exactly.
You can't block it. Like we live in a society.
We live in a society, exactly.
It's terrible, and I would prefer not to.
Exactly.
But we do.
We do. We got to deal with one another. You don't like that? I don't know. Go live off the grid. But you've got to deal with people. It like reminds me of a recent HOA meeting that I was in, and one of the new people who moved in. It was the first meeting that they joined, and they're like, hey, you know, the common area doesn't have a barbecue. And so I was wondering, you know, what if I bought a barbecue for the building, a nice one and everything, would that be okay? Can we have a barbecue? And one of the
seems reasonable.
One of the people living in our building was like, by the way, this is the common area where there's a pool, okay? She jumps in and she's like, oh, you know, a barbecue, that means that people are gonna be gathering out there and making noise and this and that. And I was like, no, unmute, this is over Zoom because of COVID.
Oh, that sounds like a nightmare.
It was a nightmare. I like unmuted myself and I was like, are we allowed to use the pool that our dues pay for every month? Are we allowed to use the common area? Or are we being too noisy for you who has made a decision to live in a freaking building? You live in a building. You live in a building.
I want you to have people over for a catered barbecue gathering at that pool. You won't have your barbecue there, it'll be brought to the place, but everyone will stand around eating barbecue.
And then I asked a bunch of questions. I'm like, are we, by the way, we're not allowed to eat by the pool. That was a rule I was unaware of.
So look, I can think of better reasons to be against the barbecue. The idea that like then you have to set up who's gonna be cleaning it and who's gonna pay for the fuel and whatever, but those are, you could get past those.
Exactly, you can.
Can I make a complaint about pools?
Go.
I don't have a pool at my house, but way back in Austin, I used to live in an apartment complex. I lived there for like 4 or 5 years. And when I got my dog Hilo, I brought him into the pool, which admittedly, you're not supposed to do. He's a tiny dog, and I used to put him in there, and I thought he didn't like swimming, but he was very good at it. And so anyway, I did it one time for 10 minutes, and immediately was reported to the landlord or whatever, which is acceptable because I was breaking the rules. And what I'm about to say does not actually absolve me of what I did, but in the 4 years that I lived there, I never once saw another human, let alone a dog, use that pool. I believe me and Hilo were the only creatures to step foot in it for half a decade. So I feel like he could have gone a little bit lighter on us.
How about just talk, like how about go down, have a quick conversation. Hey, can't put the dog in the pool.
That sounds reasonable. I'd prefer this. I don't want them talking to me.
Okay, fair enough.
Report me.
All right, everyone's a winner then.
Don't talk to me.
I guess, everyone's a winner.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.